Is there something called true love? If yes, have I felt it before? And was it forever? A little girl has asked me this question and reminded me of who I used to be in the past. I used to believe in fairy tales and that a savior will come and save me and I will have a love story that continues forever. Let me tell you a story then. Once upon a time, long, long time ago, I had a life which was happy. I had a job which was paying me well. I had a set of animals at home. You can hear them, see them in the video too sometimes. That I loved. I had a small set of friends who loved me, who were very close to me. And I had a partner who was devoted to me and loved me. I should have been very happy and just satisfied, but my intuitive compass was always telling me to leave. I was confused. This person with whom I was, my partner, he was an average person. He did not have a lot of wounds from the past, so he did not understand inner healing, psychology, spirituality, and he didn't have big plans for the future too. He was an average person, not overly excited about life, but loved everybody around him, was passionate about people, was kind and compassionate, and loved me. All right, we were happy, we were friends first. So, but I can never ignore my intuition. So I just had to listen to my intuition and I had to separate. It was painful, but I did. Once the pain settled down, my intuition told me to make a list of things that I think my partner should have, and I wrote it down, all the things. It was the person should be highly spiritual, should know all about healing trauma, should know how to research and find solutions for all the roadblocks in life, should be very passionate about life, about the future, and should be very artistic, maybe a poet or a musician or a painter, um, and so on and so forth. I did show this list to one of my best friends, and he was laughing and saying, "So, you basically want a reflection of yourself. Actually, a higher version of yourself, the future version of yourself." Um, I didn't pay much attention to it that time. So, before this, I've always been in very long, committed, solid relationships. So, I had not actually tried dating ever. So I did try, and oh my god, it was. I have nothing against people who are dating. If you find it to be your cup of tea, well and good. But for me, it was a playground where everybody is a peacock and doing this peacock dance of showing how bright they are, how amazing they are, and laughing and giggling and fishing for people who can be their ideal match. It was exhausting for me. It was not humane for me. So I quit. And I was okay. I believe in law of attraction and the right timing of the universe. So I thought when I'll have to meet somebody, I will find that person. So when you're single, usually you do come across a lot of people who are interested in you. So I did. Most of the people whom I found were empathetic and very highly intelligent, but I did not have any chemistry with them. It was more platonic, and I'm still very good friends with them. So, but something happened, okay? I did meet three people. Now, being a demisexual, if you Google demisexual, you'll find out that demisexuals are people who need to form emotional bonds with people before they can get into a relationship with people. All right. So I really need to have that solid foundation of trust, loyalty, friendship, emotional connection, and attachment before I can go into any form of commitment with them. It can be romantic, physical, whatever it is. All right. And relationship has to be long term. Okay, at least the intention has to be for a long term and serious. There's nothing casual for a demisexual. So knowing this, I came across three people in my life. The first person, while traveling, I did find a person who was amazing. He was a writer, a poet, um, and he was artistic, brilliant. He love bombed me. All right, what is love bombing? Someday I'll tell you about narcissism, then I'll explain this. But he was like, where were you all these days? People like you are not there, and he showed me how great I am, how happy he is to find me. He was not from this country, so we had a lot of cultural difference between us. We were excited to explore that, and that formed the basic ground of communication between us. But thank God, because of my past experiences with narcissists, I soon realized that he's a narcissist, alright? And narcissists are sociopaths. Um, you cannot be in a normal, functional relationship with them. Everything is a lie, what they say. So, yeah, I did realize this, and thank God, before I emotionally got attached to him, I realized all this, and I wasn't in pain or anything. It was a shock for a day or two. Then I met somebody who was a very, very old acquaintance of mine, and he had transformed into this wonderful person who had a lot of friends, and he really cared for them. He invested time into his own health, and he was highly empathetic and emotionally intelligent. We formed a great connection. He also found me to be very different from who I used to be earlier. He found that I'm evolved, I've changed, and it was lovely. He was an old friend, anyways. It was lovely to reconnect. But before anything could pan out between us, I found that he was highly manipulative. He wanted people to be in the mold that he wants them to be in, right? So he would always poke me and kind of instigate me towards a direction, push me towards a direction which is more of his liking. So I should be somebody that he likes me to be. He couldn't accept me for who I am. So again, no way here. Then I met somebody from a common friend who was so much like me. He loved spirituality. We used to talk a lot about yoga and meditation. He's had a traumatic past childhood um, suffering, so we could bond over there, over the wounds, inner healings. He had a broken relationship too, and you know we discussed about them. He found a lot of insights and discoveries along with me. He was very happy. He used to talk a lot about topics that I was very passionate about. And I used to wonder, how does he know all this? Like, really, is he a reflection of me? Soon, thank God, the universe was protecting me as always, and truth bombs started falling in front of me. So, what I found out is he had found an old blog where I used to write earlier, and I haven't written about those stuffs anywhere else in Instagram, or I don't talk about those topics. So he did find that about me, and he knew somewhere I'm very interested in these topics. He researched on them and used to talk about these topics with me. But I did find that he had very limited knowledge on these topics, and I was wondering, like, how is it that he's passionate about this but knows only this much? It was more like how much Google will show you on the front page. So, all right. And the other lie was, he was somebody who could not be in a long term relationship and could not be with one person. I am not against polygamy. I have all the respect for the people who are polygamous but who are also honest. And this person knew that I am not a polygamous person. So when I had spoken about it, he had said that no, he's monogamous, and that was a lie. Alright, so that was cheating. So before anything could pan out between us, long term and commitment sought, again, it just faded. But by this time, I was losing hope. I was seeing all the misery and the treachery, the manipulations, the deceit in this area of life, and I was really broken for some time. I took a lot of time alone and I thought over it. And really, when you come to a stage where you are happy to be alone than to be with people, you go into deep self reflection. And one morning while meditating, I realized something tragic, and there were this big fat drops of tears rolling down my eyes and onto my cheeks. I realized that I'm a person who always thinks the grass is greener on the other side. I do appreciate people who are in my life, but I'm looking for perfection all the time inside my own self and in other people. And I understand why I am this way. Okay, I can be compassionate with myself. I won't beat up myself, but um, at that point of time, I understood that this is stopping me from building really deep, authentic connections. Something that is long term. All right. I In this way, I'll always be nitpicking. I'll always find some imperfection in somebody. I'll always find people's flaws, and I'll always think that there is somebody perfect out there beyond in the world. I'll always be confused, and all I have to do is water my own grass and don't bother if it is greener or not than the other side. I did realize this. I realized that the partner that I was talking about might have been a very simple, average, mediocre person, but he was loyal, he was honest, he was never manipulative, and he was really emotionally, genuinely connected to me. We both were very good friends before being in a relationship. And he might not have had traumas and wounds, he did not understand psychology, but he was always there with a shoulder for me to cry on, to lean on. He might not have huge future plans, but he always supported me. He never said that you are too much. You're always so excited about life and people. He was always there. When I was depressed, he took care of things. When I was on this excited, adventurous journey, he was there for me. He did not read a lot, but he bought me a lot of books. Some of them are here. Uh, he was that sort of a person who was always there for me. And regret, guilt, shame was all hovering upon me, and I was crying. Now, I knew that I had to go and apologize, but I didn't want to ask for another chance because it is selfish. Selfish because you can't just walk out of a person's life and then walk back in whenever you want. But I did go and apologize to him. Miracles do happen, they always happen in fairy tales. So he said that, look, everything is over between us, but what we have is so raw, so pure. We really care for each other, and we are really good friends. Why don't we start over as friends again and see where this goes? What happened next, I'll not tell that, right? Did both of us fall in love or not, or were we really good friends? Because that's not the question. The question is, did I find true love? Yes, I did find true love, but it was not with other people. What I realized is true love is here. The more I tend to it, the more logs I put in that fire, which is here. The more appreciative I become of people who are with me, of all the love that I am getting. What I have, I start cherishing it, valuing it. True love means valuing what you have, building a stronger communication and bond with people, being more authentic with them and accepting them, and understanding that there's nothing perfect out there. Everybody's got flaws, and there's beauty in imperfection. It also told me to walk out of areas where there were no respect, where there was no genuine bond, where there was a frequency mismatch. All right, not with hatred. Okay, love, wherever there is love, there cannot be hatred. But just meant that life is so short that you really have to invest it on quality relationships. All right, things which are genuine. Give it a chance. And so I did find true love. I was a transformed person after that. Very, very appreciative. Very, very appreciative and grateful of people. Grateful for people. The next question, the next part of the question is forever. Did I find it forever? When I was a teenager and my family was nothing but a TV soap, everybody was fighting, nobody trusted each other. One person came out of death. I was thinking the family member is dead, and the person wasn't. Trust me, I'm not lying. Someday I will tell about this. I was such a scared child. All I wanted to be was sit in a corner, and I wanted everything to stop changing, stop transforming, for things to be safe. All right, I wanted that solid anchor that I can hold on to when the currents are so fast. Wind shouldn't be blowing me away, the wind of change. So I do understand. Fast forward 10 years from then, I had invested a lot of time and effort into building an anchor within myself. Okay, I became that anchor for myself. Once you become your own anchor, you are strong. It's an ongoing process. Okay, you are never just forever strong. All right, but when you are this strong that you love yourself, you can take care of yourself, you don't want anything to be forever. Life is impermanent and it is flowing, and the more you try to stop it, the more you'll suffer. You'll just create an unnecessary resistance. So what you have to do is just swim along the current, and if it is too fast for you, go river rafting. But always enjoy the ever changing roller coaster of life. All right, it is actually beautiful. I did realize that, and for me, forever is boring. It's stagnant, um, and anything that is stagnant is not a breeding ground for growth, for evolution. And if there's no evolution, there's no me. Right? I don't enjoy it. So I don't want anything forever. Even if there is something forever, I will not be able to resonate with it because that is not my core value. And I would also request you to maybe look into yourself and see, do you really want something forever, or is it because you're insecure and want something to hold on to? Right, a love that saves you, that is forever, that saves you from all the change and you can feel safe. Because if that's so, trust me, there's nothing that can save you. Life is always flowing. All right, and you just have to go with the flow. You have to learn that skill so that you start enjoying life. So I hope I've answered your question here. It was a long chat. I would say keep loving, keep flowing, and have very grateful days ahead. Thank you.